viewers, and welcome yet again to another episode of Conversations with Yobosa. I know you've missed me, I've missed you. So, on this episode, this is, how I said, in 2024, I'm going to be having, in addition to my regular episodes, I'm also going to be having a finance, what I call like a finance 101 segment, right? And this is where we talk about like, finance, personal finance, how to tame your money, how to make your money work for you. Me, I'm here for it. I don't know, well, hopefully you are here for it, or I'm here for it. So on today's show, we're going to be discussing the concept of life insurance. And please, I hope no one is sitting out there saying, I beg, life insurance, are you praying for me to die? No. This is not, we'll debunk that myth, don't worry, okay? It's going to be a very enlightening episode. We will scratch the surface though, because the concept of life insurance, we can be here for a week. So it's going to be like a high level introductory segment, or where we just discuss on a very high level. And then we'll do deeper dives, as the year progresses. Joining me on this episode is Mr. Dipo Adesina. He's a 5-time author, serial entrepreneur, business coach, and a personal finance expert. For over a decade now, Mr. Adesina has been empowering people all around the world on the importance of investing and owning a business in order to build and transfer generational wealth to help us get closer to our goal of attaining financial independence. Me, I am here for it. I need to be financially independent. This is 2024. What is the slogan again? We don't agree, right? That's what it is. We don't agree. So I'm here for it. Without further ado, welcome Mr. Dipo Adesina to the show. Really glad to have you here. Thanks for taking the time out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me.
Okay, so are you ready to discuss this with us? I know it's one of your favorite topics, life insurance.
Let's make it happen. This is what I breathe.
Right. Okay. So to begin with, I follow you on IG. I think I followed you for maybe a year or so now, maybe a couple of years now. And you call yourself the the finance preacher. I like it. How did that designation come about?
Yeah, so when you think about the whole concept of a preacher, their goal is to, from a believer standpoint, their goal is to preach about the gospel and educate people on how to be more spiritually minded. I feel like from a finance standpoint, it's the same thing. We're preaching the gospel on personal finance and how people can go from lack to abundance by really just understanding the basics of money, right? Teaching the principles, of money.
Okay, so that's so apt. Yeah, finance preacher. I like it, like I said. Again, on your IG profile, you do say that you teach people how to earn, grow, and protect their money. So let's talk about life insurance. But why is this a taboo in some circles, especially from where we're from, right? You broach the topic and some people are like, are you praying for me to die? Please don't. And you just sound like, not okay. So I guess what's going on there, right? With the thinking.
One of the challenges we have in our community, and when we say community, I'm predominantly speaking about the African community, is that if you think about it, most of our parents come from a place where when somebody passes away, the natural thing to do is you take them to a village and you bury them in a compound, right? My father passed away 2 years ago, and that's exactly what we did, right? So we're coming from a place where the culture does not even think about or even know the concept of life insurance and how important it is in financial planning. So when you come to the first world country where everything is based on planning, everything is based on you putting together structures financially to make sure that your family's well taken care of, it does sound like a taboo, right? That you're thinking about somebody dying, but in reality, it's not. It's just part of the overall financial planning to make sure that your loved ones are well taken care of.
Okay. I think it makes sense now that you put it that way, So let us help us break it down, right? What is life insurance? Why should we get it? Who should get it? How do we get it? Is it cookie cutter? What types are there? I know this is a loaded question, I'm sorry. So, but again, sure. We can't just scratch the surface, okay? Just scratch the surface.
Yeah. So life insurance in a very simple format is something you get to put in place to protect your family, right? So if you're a mother, if you're a parent that you have children or you have a spouse, life insurance is basically saying if anything happens to me, I need to make sure that the people I'm leaving behind, they will not struggle financially because of a loss of income. Does that make sense? So that's why it goes beyond just thinking about death, but it's more about planning for the future because the ultimate truth is at some point in time we are all going to exit this world, right? So it's not something that it's an if matter, it's only a matter of when. You know, and I give you an example. A couple of days ago, one of the youth in my church posted in our group a GoFundMe link about another high school kid. This kid had to be maybe around 15 to 16. He was shot and killed, right? High school, right? A Nigerian kid for that matter. And they put together a GoFundMe account to help raise money for the funeral expense. So if you now think about it on the flip side, what if it was the parent that passed away and they had a teenage child? How in the world would the teenager be able to survive when the parent are no longer in the picture? Right? Because I think one of the things that we miss is that nobody knows exactly when they're going to go. Right? We don't have a specific date. When I'm 70, when I'm 80, that's when I'm expiring. So to me, it's just pure wisdom to put certain things in place to plan for the future of your family should anything happen to you.
So on the concept of so on the one hand, we'll have people who say, heaven forbid and all that. But then on the other hand, we'll have people who get it, but then they're probably thinking, you know what, no, I'm in my late 20s, I'm 28. No, I don't think I need it. I can wait till when I'm 35, Or so who should get it?
Everybody. As a matter, so as from 15 days old, that means a newborn baby that's 15 days old can get life insurance, right? If you look at the example that I just gave to you right now, just because you're young does not mean you're going to live forever. That's number one. And number two, the younger you are, the less you're paying for cost of insurance. Very important. Unfortunately, some of the clients that we deal with, they're by the time they get to their 50s and their 60s and now they understand the importance of it, by that time you're paying 5 times more for the same life insurance that you could have gotten 20 years ago at a very cheaper price, right? It's almost like you buying a house 20 years ago and now you're trying to buy the same house. Of course the value is going up because of timing. Absolutely.
Okay. So is it cookie cutter? So in other words, if you've got like five people with five different profiles, right? Can we all just get the same type of life insurance? So is it
No.
cookie cutter?
It's not something, well, it's not really because you got to think about it. Yeah, Bosa, right? Some people are healthy, some people are not. You can be the same age, right? So your health plays a lot of factor into that. Even your finances plays a key role. Your credit plays a role in that because if someone has a bad credit and you have a lot of collections on your report, that's a red flag to some insurance carriers like, wait, this person is not faithful in their finances, so they're definitely not going to be faithful to to paying their premium, right? Another key factor, your health. I was just telling a group yesterday that just because you want life insurance does not mean you're going to get it. It's not a privilege, right? You have to qualify for life insurance. So the healthier you are, the younger you are, the better you be to get it locked in while you're still young.
So I get it. Time, what I hear is that time, I mean, obviously, time is our greatest asset, right? So, but what if, for whatever reason, right, you're just getting enlightened now, and like you said, you're in your 40s now, or like you're your 50s, so should we despair? Should the thinking be, okay, you know what, I'm in my 50s, I guess I missed the boat, for like the last 30 years, and you know what, I'm just gonna not bother about it. I mean, should that be the thinking?
Absolutely not. I mean, you can get life insurance up to age 80 years old, right? Now, it depends on how much coverage you want because obviously the more you want, the more you're paying for the cost of insurance. We still had a yesterday, 70 years old, still got a policy, right? So, but the key thing is understanding that, depending on how much coverage you're looking for, your age, that would determine how much you're paying. So if you're 50 now, you're 60 now, you're 70, believe me, you can still qualify for life insurance, right? It may not be as much because of the cost. You may only need $20,000, maybe just for funeral expenses, but at least you know that that burden is not going to be in your family when you do pass away.
Right, right. So let's life insurance, right? What types are there? Because it just seems like there's a flavor, right, to life insurance. I mean, there's like a spectrum. So let's just touch just very briefly again, high level, just scratch the surface. What types of life insurance are there?
Yep. So real quickly, we have term insurance. Term insurance is pretty much with duration of time. We typically have 10, 20, or 30 years, which means if you get a 30-year term, for example, and you outlive that 30 years, that policy is terminated, right? It's just to cover you for a period of time. We have whole life. Whole life is basically a policy that you get, is a type of permanent life insurance that pays out anytime you pass away, right? As long as you pay your premium, it's going to pay out. And then we have indexed universal life, which is another type of permanent life insurance. This is the one that a lot of people are starting to gravitate towards because it can serve as life insurance and a savings policy at the same time, right? Which means that you're able to actually build, cash within the policy that you can access in the future for, investments, paying down payment for a house. Exactly. So a lot of young people are 100% gravitating towards more of that because of the ability to access money from the policy at a later time in the future.
So that's these are the IULs, right?
You will, exactly.
IULs, right? Okay, okay. So what you say again, we can use life insurance to build generational wealth and become financially secure. This is definitely a discussion for another time. Again, I'm going to have you back. We'll delve
Sure.
more into it. But very briefly, just enlighten us on what exactly this means, and maybe to your point, maybe like with the IEL thing, like you said, maybe yeah. So talk to us about it.
So with the IUL, there's two components, right? Like I said, depending on how the policy is being funded, you can actually access money from the policy by retirement, where it becomes tax-free income. So we have clients who strategically leverage the policy to build a tax-free retirement. So by the time they get to like 65, they can access 70, $80,000 every year tax free because of how they funded the policy. Now, when we talk about generational wealth, it's more so about you having a death benefit that you're able to transfer to the next generation when you pass away. An example that I always give is, how different would your life be if your parent or your grandparent left you $1 million,
Oh my
right?
goodness. Oh, very
It,
different.
it, it's
I can tell you
crazy.
that. Right.
So when you think about it, that's the concept of generational wealth. Now, you as a person, because you understand the importance of life insurance, you now get life insurance for yourself. So that way, when your kids get older, you pass away, that money gets transferred. So it becomes a cycle because now you have a tradition and a culture in a family of passing something down to the next generation. And that's where the whole concept of generational wealth comes in, provided, and this is where personal finance comes into play, provided that you're teaching the next generation financial principles. Because the last thing you want to do is to pass down $1 million to someone who understands nothing about money.
And then the scorn diet, right? It's just yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the education aspect, and then there's the transfer aspect.
Okay. So educate, and I hear you, Lisa. So the education aspect is actually really key, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay. Okay. And it's not really, and so I wonder, I sit back and I wonder, and I'm like, why don't they teach us more of this in school? Like
Yeah.
you would think, right?
Yeah. So this, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know this, but if you go back and study history, 100 plus years, the school system, I mean, there are books on this. It was never designed to teach people how to be successful, right? It was a system. So it was a system designed to train people on how to become employees, workers. You see my point? So that's why when an average person who goes to college, their first thought process of getting out is not to go and start a business, right? Is how can I get a job, a six-figure job, right? So when you're locked in that mentality, and you're basically teaching your children to do the same thing. So it becomes a generational thing. So you're not going to hear about personal finance in school. You're not going to hear about how to invest in school, how to build businesses. I mean, you have professors who are teaching about business and they don't own a business, right? So that just to show you that the school system is not really built to help us thrive in the area of finance.
Okay. And so thank goodness for people like you, okay, personal finance coaches who are there to really take on this job, to start to empower us to know more about finance, right? So thank you so much on behalf of
Appreciate
everyone out there. Okay. So to wrap it up, what are two key takeaways from today's session that you want my audience to take away with them? What should they start thinking about as they go away from this session?
Yep, number one is personal finance is everything, right? I don't care how much money you make. You can make six figures. You can make seven figures. If you don't understand money, you will always work for money and always live paycheck to paycheck. I'm working with some NFL players now, and I'm studying a lot of NFL players, and it's been proven that on average, after retirement, after 4 years, 78% of them go broke. You're talking to people who make millions. It is 78, right? You can Google it, do a research on that. And the reason is because that personal finance is absent, right? Because you got to think about it. As an athlete, that's a job. You just happen to earn a lot of money on that job, but they never teach you anything about personal finance. So for the people watching today, I don't care. You could be making $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year. It doesn't matter how much. The key thing is you understand how to be disciplined with your finances as you go through your journey in life, and ultimately you will end up financially okay. And the second thing, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I was not saying no interesting
Go ahead.
because some people sitting in my boat will say, "Oh my goodness, okay, yeah, if I earn 50K, but then if all of a sudden I start to earn seven figures, $1 million, well, definitely you best believe I'm going to be keeping a lot of it. And wow, because if I'm able to survive on 50K and $1 million, but that's not necessarily. I mean, I guess lifestyle will start to creep up now and just things like that, right?
Yeah, I have a doctor that I consulted for about a year ago, and during our session, she was telling me about another physician friend, Nigerians, right? Um, she said the gentleman makes $750,000 a year as a physician, but he lives paycheck to paycheck. Now, it's almost mind bothering, boggling, right? That yeah, how can you make that type of money? And you live paycheck to paycheck, personal finance.
But it's possible. It is, yes.
It's very possible. So it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't know how to handle 50,000 while it's still small, when you get 200,000, you won't know how to handle it. Same thing when you get 1 million, you won't know how to handle it. Right? So I always tell people that look, you have to spend time or at least have somebody you can work with to help you with your personal finance and get you on the right track, right? So that would be the first thing. The second thing is what we talked about, life insurance. Um, Wealthy people know the importance of life insurance, right? They might not get life insurance because they need it, but they understand how important it is when it comes to building and transferring generational wealth, right? Especially with these cash value policies that you're able to actually use it as your own bank, you're able to leverage it and help your money grow tax free. So when you understand that life insurance is no longer what we used to be taught, that it's only beneficial when you pass away, and you realize that you can use it while you're still alive, it changes your whole psyche,
It's
right?
like it's
So,
almost like a no-brainer. You're like, "Oh, wait, wait a minute, where have I been all this time?" Right.
I have three kids, a wife, everybody in my household have policies. Not because we are thinking about death, right? Even though it's inevitable, but it's about the benefit of these policies on how we can use it, leverage it while we're still alive. So regardless of how old you are watching this, please get some type of coverage. It's going your children are going to thank you for it later, right? So hopefully those 2 points kind of ring home for your audience.
Definitely. And like I said, we'll bring you back. Okay, Mr. Additional. Thank you so much for your time today. How can viewers get in touch with you?
Yes, I mean I'm active on all social media platforms, well, primarily on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you type in Dipo underscore Adesina, so it's Dipo underscore Adesina on any social media platform, you can catch me there. You can also email me info@depoadesina.com.
Okay. And viewers, we're gonna have we will put all of this information down in
Awesome.
the in the informational section below, as well as we'll have it scrolling on the screen. Thank you so much, Mr. Additional, for being here, for enlightening us. Again, like I said, this is just because this is just we just scratched the surface, as in the scratching of the scratch. Like it's not even if we're to spend a lot of time on the concept of life insurance, we'll be here for a week. But you know what? Mr. Additional has promised to come back to enlighten us some more,
Facts.
and we will
Absolutely.
definitely welcome him. So, a key takeaway for me, and he said it all, is number one is education, right? We need to get educated on personal finance. Doesn't matter if you're earning 50K, doesn't matter if you're earning, 7 figures, if you can't handle 50K. So it's not, or what's the slogan? It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you're earning 50K and you can't manage that, then guess what? It's probably the same trajectory once you're earning in the 6 figures or even the 7 figures. It's all about, okay, how do you make your money work for you? How do you keep more of your money? And we can talk about, like I said, there's so many strategies. There's the life insurance, there are tax strategies. I mean, don't even get us started on that tax strategy
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
which I think that's where you saying encouraging folks to like own businesses, right?
Yeah.
And that helps to like build generational wealth. So there's a whole bunch. I mean, I'm totally excited with this Finance 101 segment. I'm a CPA, so it's like a topic after my own heart. So, Mr.
Awesome.
Additional, we'll have you back again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Viewers, there you have it. If you've not subscribed, go and subscribe, okay? Because this is the goodness we're gonna have. 2024 is you are definitely gonna be richer. I'm just saying it. Content wise, finance wise, just all of that, how to manage your money. So go and subscribe. I'm not gonna send my mother after you because there's no need. Just go and subscribe, okay? The goodness of conversations with the Yobo style. Until the next episode, I say you stay safe and have a super sparkly week. Bye now.